Taurus, Taurus rising, and of course all of you Taurus moon people out there, this is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting February 17th, 2020. And just a quick reminder for all of y'all out there, if you ever wish to get a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or of course you may also just simply follow the links below. So what is going on when it comes to your astrology over the course of this coming week? Well, on Thursday we've actually got Jupiter, the planet of wealth, expansion, good fortune, good luck, and knowledge, as well as basically anything to do with material abundance and social prominence in your 9th house of higher education, government and legal proceedings, travel, as well as culture and connections abroad, forming a gorgeous sextile to Neptune, which is actually in your 11th house of friendships and social networking, Pisces. Now, Neptune is the ruler of creativity, dreams, inspiration, yes, sometimes illusions, but also fantasy. And we actually see through some kind of either spiritual connection, and maybe an academic connection, or a breakthrough in a government or legal proceeding, or maybe through a connection abroad or a connection online, we have an opportunity for a lot of you Taurus people to have a breakthrough when it comes to fulfilling a dream, a fantasy, or an aspiration that maybe you thought was too much of an insane imagining, maybe you thought it was impossible, or maybe you didn't think it was feasible to happen so soon, so quickly. Luckily, with Jupiter sextile to Neptune, there is assistance coming through here. It does look like there is a mutual benefit if this is another person, or maybe if it's not another person, it's a group, it's a community. It is actually something that will be serving. It is something that is productive. And this is an opportunity, especially between Thursday and Saturday, because this conversation between these planets goes until about Saturday, for you to really take a walk on the wild side when it comes to doing something that ultimately goes against what you might consider to be conventionally safe, secure, and prudent. Because Jupiter's in your 9th house, of course this could relate to something to do with maybe your career, maybe travel, or even your spiritual life. But let's not forget that Neptune is also in your 11th house. You will not be alone. When it comes to Friday with Mars, we've got Mars moving in, or recently moved in at that point, to Capricorn, that 9th house of higher education, government, legal proceedings, and all that kind of good stuff. Mars is the planet of action, passion, energy, conviction, sometimes conflict, but also overcoming obstacles. And he is forming a gorgeous trine aspect to Uranus, currently in your sign. Now, when we have Mars show up in the 9th house, we often see this as a person, a player, a character. And when I say a player, I don't mean a player, so don't... when I say like a player in the in the video game, so to speak, a new player has logged in or signed on. So Mars in the 9th house could be somebody that you know. It doesn't have to be somebody completely brand new. It could be somebody you're already familiar with. But Mars in the 9th house is all about somebody in that area, among your spiritual group, among your academic group, among your graduating class, again, maybe friends or connections abroad, online, whatever, helping you to rebel or change course with your life. Uranus in your 1st house. It's about changing course in your life. It's about doing something where you really get off the beaten path. And if you thought you were being unconventional before, you haven't even begun. Because with Mars trine to Uranus, this could actually be something where we even break a mold that was intended to break another mold. This is a breakthrough because Mars in the 9th house can ultimately help us knock down an obstacle or even find a shorter way to a long-term goal, aspiration, or dream we even had to sort of keep in the cupboard. It wasn't ready to come out, or maybe it was in the cupboard and we just never thought it would come out again. Pay attention this coming weekend, because this is you have to engage with these energies. I always say that. Do not just sit there and pray to the planets to give you handouts, but you have these opportunities and conversations being presented to you at this time for a reason. Enjoy them. When it comes to the cards, like I said, well, let's do announcements for a minute. A lot of you are going to be interested in this anyway, because come back. Within about 24 hours of me putting up these horoscopes, I'm going to be putting up a video all about oversouls, oversoul groups, spirit families, spiritual monads, So that includes soulmates and twin flames, and I'm going to be going very deep on this, talking about what that all is and what is really going on there. It's not going to be sample size, it's not going to be a skinny, it's not going to be broken down, it's not going to be any of that kind of stuff. If you guys really want to learn about the idea of soul family, soul kindred, and all of that good stuff, I really suggest you come back. It'll be on the main channel page. You can always click on my avatar below, or you can open up the down bar below this video and go to my Deep Talks playlist. So what's going on when it comes to your cards? Well, when it comes to your spiritual themes, we have the Queen of Pentacles upright. Very much like we saw with the astrology, it's about breaking molds. The Queen of Pentacles upright creates with their own hands. They're not afraid to get their own hands dirty, but they're also not afraid to do things their own original, unique way. Follow their own self-made path, route, whatever you want to call it. In fact, the Queen of Pentacles, fixed earth, that's you, Taurus. In a lot of ways, the Queen of Pentacles is showing support for the things that you would rather do, as opposed to the things that maybe you're doing because you're capitulating to maybe a cultural agreement, a social agreement, or maybe just something that's been seen as conventional wisdom for too long a time. In a lot of cases, the Queen of Pentacles can show up where you are seeing this week that your own personal projects, your own personal goals, aspirations, whether it's art, whether it's business, whether it's your spiritual path, whatever you are most hands-on directly with, not stuff you outsource, and things that you are doing originally, are actually going to get their chance to really get up on stage and have their day in the sun. And with the Queen of Pentacles upright, this is also a week where you're going to be noticing people want you to put your input, your spin, your customized vibration into everything that they share with you. Do not get a jelly belly on me now and actually be afraid to do that, because it's okay to be different, right? The 20 teens are over. We don't have to be life is going to change here. There's going to be a celebration of uniqueness, and we're not going to see it so easy for things to get homogenized and sold off piece by piece. Stay tuned for the Oversoul video. So, moving on to the influx card, we've got the Fool in reverse. And with the Fool card in reverse, this is all about you seeing a need to start taking risks. Because the Fool card in reverse is all about a lack of trust, or maybe a fear that might actually manifest its own fears to prove itself right. In a lot of cases with the Fool card reverse, we see a circumstance where if we're not careful, we're only going to continue to restart certain cycles. And this may be you, this may be also something you're seeing around other people. Sometimes people are afraid to do something new. They think they're being gentle and courteous and careful with themselves, so they accidentally restart their same cycle over and over and over again. And it's not really a better existence. This week with the Fool card reverse, you're going to be challenged in a big way to sort of step outside your safety zone, step outside your comfort zone. The Fool card reverse is also indicating quite possibly you're going to have to confront some doubts within yourself. Where have people made you feel like you can't make the call correctly? Sometimes it happens with the Fool card reversed. The only thing about the Fool card reversed is foolish is that they often don't trust themselves to make decisions. They don't trust themselves to make big decisions, either because of programming, or maybe they don't trust themselves to make big decisions because they've never made those kinds of decisions before. And we don't live in a world that supports people making choices from the true heart. But with the Fool card reverse this week, guess what? You're going to have to face that test anyway. The good news is putting a personal spin on everything with the Queen of Pentacles is ultimately supported for you now anyway. So what do you really have to be afraid of? When it comes to the outflux, what's going away, we have the Five of Cups upright, and good riddance to that. With the Five of Cups upright, a period of loss, a period of mourning, or a period of doing without is actually coming to a close. And I'm actually seeing with the Five of Cups upright, a lot of you Taurus people are also finding there is a way to make something work, either with somebody or maybe a plan or a project or maybe even a career aspiration or a personal aspiration that seemed impossible. Let's not forget the bridge of the Five of Cups. It could literally be a bridge between distances, Maybe you're worried because you don't know if you could actually move for work. Maybe there's something going on where you want to engage in a relationship that's strained by time or distance. Maybe there's something going on where it just feels like the amount of time spent and invested in a certain thing is going to elongate the experience and make it impractical. The Five of Cups going away is indicating we are also shortening the distance between point A and point B. And where you've been doing without this sort of thing, maybe you've been doing without it in love, you've been doing without it in your work, you've been doing without it in your art. This is a week where you're getting a chance to really kind of say no. Okay, we don't have to do without, we don't have to compromise in that way. It's not a compromise that it's absolutely necessary to make. We don't have to make it. And you're going to see this week a lot of really good stuff coming to take the place of the void that you need filling. When it comes to the bottom row here, right, mundane concerns, we have for your material wealth, the Four of Pentacles upright. Now, material concerns can also go into professional concerns. The Four of Pentacles, I honestly feel like, is giving us an understanding of where maybe a certain path, a certain job, or a certain financial plan is going to show us its ceiling. And with the Four of Pentacles, we are seeing there may not be a lot of progress beyond a certain point. Now, we might not be at that end point yet, so we don't have to rush, we don't have to panic, but with the Four of Pentacles, if we're seeing something in its entirety like, okay, this is as far as this can go, this is as far as the track goes, the train won't go any further, maybe it's important to look at other options we need to exercise when it comes to either a professional or financial concern. We are breaking all kinds of rules this week. We are going out of our way. Don't do anything unethical or illegal. I'm just saying, we are breaking a lot of rules and conventions this week in order to change things up. And the Four of Pentacles can sometimes indicate a block that needs to actually be transcended or gone around. This can also be a time where a lot of you Taurus people need to think about maybe changing how you want to perform your work or perform your career. This can be a time where we might want to think about stepping into another department, maybe testing the waters with a secondment, doing something where you have a chance to really see more so you're not bunched up and bound by a repetitive schedule and cycle. Because you have a chance to get out of it. We can always wiggle out of it, but you gotta do it. When it comes to the external, when it comes to your friends, maybe your relatives, the other people in your life, we have the King of Wands upright. Very much that Mars, I think, in the 9th house kind of energy. There does look to be some help coming for you, or maybe somebody who is helping to give you a very powerful boost, possibly somebody providing that kind of alternative to the Four of Pentacles energy we saw before. Because the King of Wands upright is somebody who I see using their magic wand or using their staff essentially to pave a new road or to burn a space into into a spot that was full before, a space that was full, that's ready for you. This King of Wands is ultimately trying to help you transcend a boundary, or maybe even inviting you on an adventure that they are on. They are including you, and interestingly enough, you actually do connect or vibe with this energy, you vibe with this cause, you vibe with this work. And so with the King of Wands showing up, whoever they are or whatever's going on, maybe it's not one person, maybe it's multiple people, you have a chance to really experiment with seeing how far you can take, again, your own creative, personal, and professional aspirations, because this is somebody who ultimately does that themselves. I'm getting from this King of Wands, this is somebody who actually does go against convention in a way that is fair and equitable, but also at the same time has made it, or has a plan that will make it. When it comes to your emotions, like water, with your water sector, like the old way we used to do it, relationships and romance, we actually have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And this week, love and romance could be a bit of a challenge, as it does look like we may be having to confront a double standard in the relationship. Now, the Knight of Cups reverse can sometimes show up where this double standard, maybe once upon a time, was some leeway or some extra latitude that had to do with maybe a wound, or maybe an emotional issue, or maybe just some insecurities in the relationship. I'm not sure where this is coming from. It could be coming from a partner, somebody new, one of your kids, maybe even you, if you're self-aware. But the double standard is getting challenged this week, and it must be done so. Because the Knight of Cups reversed is indicating here that we need to kind of look and see, why are we still acting like why are we still acting like whatever you're dealing with is still going on, right? Because the Knight of Cups reversed is still about insecurities. Somebody's still letting their insecurities run the show, or maybe somebody's personal insecurities or personal history when it comes to love and romance or even parenting has become more important than the actual people in the relationship itself. And sometimes that happens when people, maybe they're going through a really tough time emotionally, maybe they're not practicing a bit of mindfulness here. This, however, requires a bit of a check-in. If we take care of it and handle it, don't worry, we will find the best answer for all concerned. But this week with the Knight of Cups reversed, it's going to be really important that we pay attention to where we can't have the relationship or the relationship with our kids be, again, lived as a double standard or a capitulation to maybe past wounds, issues, or dysfunction, right? It's something that we should be aiming towards health. We should be aiming towards mutual equivalent exchange of love, health, happiness, and function. It's not to say that anyone's going to be downright abusive, but it does look like there are some issues popping up where it seems like it needs to be taken care of, right? We need to be focusing on solutions right now, not just relief. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And if you ever wish to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. My cat just walked across my foot and almost made me laugh because it was ticklish. I'll see you later.